The concert hall is packed, the energy electric as the spotlight shines down on Elvis Presley, the king of rock and roll. He's in his iconic jumpsuit, the crowd roaring as he belts out one of his famous hits. His charisma fills the stage, his voice captivating every person in the room. The atmosphere is charged, with fans swaying and singing along, caught up in the magic of the moment. But then, something shifts. The audience falls into an expectant hush as a woman walks onto the stage. Her presence is sudden, unexpected, yet graceful, and the effect on Elvis is immediate. He freezes, his posture rigid, eyes wide with surprise and disbelief. His voice falters for just a second, but he catches himself, standing still in the center of the stage, caught in the gaze of the woman who is slowly making her way toward him. She is dressed in a vintage dress, the fabric flowing elegantly with every step. The audience watches, sensing the tension in the air, their anticipation growing. The woman's approach seems surreal, as if time itself has slowed down. Elvis, normally the epitome of cool, stands motionless, his usually confident demeanor replaced by a rare vulnerability. There's a mix of confusion and emotion in his expression, and his hand slightly trembles as he holds the microphone, unsure of how to react. The audience watches in stunned silence, their eyes shifting between the two figures. The air is thick with emotion, and though Elvis is frozen in place, his expression speaks volumes. Something profound is happening, something beyond music or performance. The spotlight remains intense on Elvis as he stands on the stage, still and almost statuesque, his usual vibrant energy subdued. His eyes are locked on the woman who's now just a few steps away from him. The crowd, sensing the shift in the atmosphere, quiets down, their collective breath held in anticipation. This isn't part of the show, this is something unexpected, raw, and personal. The woman is walking toward him with purpose, a bouquet of flowers gently held in her hands. Her vintage dress sways softly as she moves, the delicate fabric catching the light with every step. She exudes grace, yet there is a quiet strength in the way she carries herself. Elvis's expression remains frozen, his mouth slightly open, as if he's trying to process what's happening in real. The microphone feels heavy in his hand, but he doesn't raise it to sing. His eyes search the woman's face, as if trying to find some kind of recognition or explanation. There is a moment of silence between them, filled with nothing but the soft hum of the crowd's hushed whispers. It's a moment of connection, a strange kind of stillness that seems to transcend the performance. As the woman reaches him, she extends the bouquet of flowers towards him, a simple but profound gesture. Elvis's hands shake ever so slightly as he takes the flowers, his usual confidence replaced by a deep, unexpected vulnerability. The crowd begins to stir, a mixture of awe and emotion filling the room. Some in the audience are moved to tears, others watching in quiet disbelief, witnessing something far beyond the music that has always defined Elvis Presley. This is a moment of pure humanity, something none of them will ever forget. Elvis stands on stage, his entire body rigid, as the woman slowly closes the distance between them. The spotlight casts an almost surreal glow around him, amplifying the sense of stillness in his stance. He looks at her with wide eyes, struggling to comprehend what is unfolding before him. His chest rises and falls with shallow breaths, as if the usual rhythm of his performance has been replaced by a heavy weight. For a brief moment, it seems like time itself has paused. His usual swagger, his effortless command of the stage, is nowhere to be found. Instead, there's a raw, unfiltered vulnerability in his gaze. The woman, appearing almost ethereal, walks toward him with quiet grace, the bouquet in her hands now the center of their strange, silent interaction. Her face is calm, yet her eyes carry a quiet intensity, as if she understands the depth of the moment. While Elvis is lost in the unexpected nature of it, the crowd, recognizing the profound shift, holds its collective breath, the hushed atmosphere thick with anticipation. This is not part of the act. It feels personal, intimate, as though the music has taken a back seat to something far more significant. As the woman finally reaches him, she extends the flowers with a gentle smile, her gesture simple but powerful. Elvis looks down at the bouquet for a brief second, almost as if grounding himself in the reality of the moment. His hands tremble ever so slightly as he takes them from her, his voice momentarily lost in the emotion he's feeling. The crowd watches in silent awe, tears beginning to form in some eyes as they sense the gravity of what's happening. Elvis, the king, is not just frozen by surprise. He's been deeply moved, shaken by something that transcends his usual command of the stage. The room is thick with emotion, and the crowd, still silent, is fully absorbed in the unexpected moment unfolding before them. Elvis stands on stage, the microphone now forgotten in his hand, his usual bold presence reduced to a quiet stillness. His eyes are locked onto the woman who has brought him to this rare moment of vulnerability. Her calm, composed demeanor contrasts sharply with the storm of emotions swirling inside him. She stands just inches away, her eyes meeting his with an expression that speaks volumes, understanding, compassion, and something deeper that Elvis can't quite grasp. The bouquet of flowers, now held gently in his hands, feels heavier than he expected. Its delicate petals almost symbolic of the fragile, tender emotion he's experiencing. For the first time that night, Elvis doesn't seem like the king of rock and roll. He is simply a man, moved by something unexpected and deeply personal. His lips part slightly, as though words are caught in his throat, but nothing comes out. The crowd, who has been watching the performance with rapt attention moments before, is now wholly engrossed in this exchange. A few people begin to wipe their eyes, their faces reflecting the emotion building in the air. Some hold their breath, unsure of what's coming next. As the woman stands before him, there's a brief, surreal stillness. Elvis finally raises his eyes to meet hers, the walls he usually builds around himself starting to crumble. In that fleeting moment, they share a quiet understanding, a bond that transcends the performance. And then, with a trembling hand, he raises the flowers to his face, taking in their scent, almost as if grounding himself back in the present. The emotion in the room is palpable. This moment is no longer just a concert, it is a deeply human connection, one that will forever be etched in the memories of everyone in the room. The atmosphere in the concert hall is thick with emotion, as the once jubilant energy has been replaced by an almost reverential silence. Elvis, still holding the bouquet of flowers in his hands, stands frozen in place, a stark contrast to his usual dynamic stage presence. His face is soft with emotion, his eyes slightly misted, as if the weight of the moment has just become too much to bear. The woman, who had stepped onto the stage, unannounced, stands quietly before him, her presence now almost a grounding force. She watches him with a gentle, knowing expression, her calmness in sharp contrast to the palpable tension in the air. The crowd remains hushed, some of the audience wiping away silent tears, others simply staring at the scene before them, as though witnessing something sacred. The powerful, larger-than-life Elvis Presley the King has been humbled in this fleeting moment. The familiar charisma, the exuberant energy that he brought to every performance, has softened, replaced by a quiet sincerity that fills the room. Elvis stands motionless, the microphone dangling loosely at his side, forgotten, while the bouquet in his hands almost seems to symbolize the raw, unspoken feelings that have overtaken him. After what feels like an eternity, Elvis finally blinks, his eyes returning to the woman who has stirred something deep inside him. For the first time, he lowers the bouquet and raises his eyes to meet hers, the world around them fading into the background. It's a moment of connection, a moment of pure emotion that has nothing to do with fame or performance. In the brief silence, Elvis's lips tremble, and though he doesn't speak, his face conveys everything: gratitude, surprise, and a deep sense of being understood. As the crowd begins to stir, their emotions mirroring those on stage, Elvis finally steps forward, holding the flowers to his chest. The applause that erupts isn't just for the king of rock and roll, it's for the man who has allowed himself to feel something beyond the music, and in that, has brought the entire room to tears.